But first, the battle over the future of the Internet is heating up, with the FCC reportedly planning to introduce a proposal this week that would classify the Internet as a utility to be regulated by the government. Republican Congressman Marsha Blackburn from Tennessee joins me right now from Washington. Congressman, you call this proposal, and I quote, a Trojan horse for government's takeover of the Internet. Can you expand on what you meant by that statement, Congressman?
Absolutely, it is the Trojan horse. And what I mean by that is specifically this. What Chairman Wheeler and an activist FCC are looking to do is to reclassify the Internet and to regulate it and tax it like a utility. And quite frankly, Cheryl, we don't need the FCC regulating the Internet, because guess what? The Internet is not broken. It's working just fine.
Well, Congressman, we haven't had this true debate really surface. And last summer we had the big debate over net neutrality, but now the president has come out again in support of it, and that is what has created, it looks like, the FCC's move here. Is this a political move by the FCC, knowing that they've got the president behind them? Now they feel like they've got the political juice to push this through, something that the courts have already told them they cannot do.
Right, and the courts have found against this. It has been voted against the net neutrality. There's bipartisan opposition to it here on Capitol Hill. But what the FCC wants to do is to get into this queue so that they actually precede your ISP, your Internet Service Provider, in governance of the Internet. Now, what that will allow them to do, in addition to regulating and taxing, is to assign priority and value to all content. They say, well, we don't want any blocking. We don't want any fast lanes. Well, what they want is to not have the ISP doing that. They, the federal government, are seeking to do that. And this is another way that this administration thinks that they can go about and control your access to information.
Well, Congressman, I don't know if you remember having to look at your utility bill. I know that many of us still do, and we're very confused by it, let's be honest. The worry here, and I'm sure that you've heard this from your constituents as well in Tennessee, is that what's going to happen if this does end up being classified as a utility, basically the Internet open for all, is that they're going to add so many taxes and fees and user fees. It's going to be a page of fees that consumers are really going to lose at the end of the day if this goes through. Do you agree with that?
Precisely. Absolutely. And even Progressive Policy Institute estimates that it is going to be $11 billion in new taxes. You have a great article in Wall Street Journal and one in New York Times today, and one of those quotes Professor Farber from Carnegie Mellon, who was involved in the development of the backbone, the delivery system of the Internet, and he finds likewise that it leads to increased taxes and fees. We don't need the federal government doing this reclassification and then taking control, assigning that priority, assigning value, assigning new taxes. And you're exactly right. When I pick up my telephone bill at the end of the month and I look over that, there are all of these fees. So many times people will say, tell me what this is for. Some of those fees were supposed to be there temporarily. They have been on there for decades, and they're not going away. They never go away, and that's exactly what you would see with the Internet. All of a sudden, this would make the Internet not affordable for many Americans, and we are saying, do not do this. You don't have the authority unless Congress gives you that authority. You are stepping away from your mission. You would have to go through a process of taking away the authority and the freedom that people have enjoyed, that businesses have enjoyed, and you would interfere with that business-customer relationship. They don't have any business going here. The Internet is not broken. They need to leave it alone.
Congressman Marsha Blackburn, well said. Thank you very much for joining us on a very hotly debated topic. I'm sure we're going to hear from you again very soon on this.